Okay, lesson 4 on the C minor blues, 12-bar blues, piano improvisation. When we think of improvisation, we think of making something up on the spot, coming up with something right then, whatever the feeling is. But what a lot of people don't realize is that improvisation comes from a wealth of experience and knowledge of different things that we have done, that we have practiced, that we have prepared. Okay, so any improvisation is going to come from something you already know and you've already done. So don't think, well, I'm not going to be able to come up with something on the spot. Yes, you will if you learn enough little tricks, little riffs, little blues licks, enough things. You'll start to be able to do it on the spot because it will come from things that you already know. Okay, so improv is not truly, out of nowhere. So because music has form, it has structure, and you go too far from that structure, and it doesn't sound like music anymore. So don't be afraid there. We're going to start this lesson with the blues scale, the minor blues scale. Now there's something called a major blues scale. We'll get into that later, but I will give you a hint here. If you learn a minor blues scale, you already know a major blues scale if you learn one. But we'll get into that later. Let's look at the minor blues scale here. There's only 5 notes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 notes in it. And if you go to C again, that's just a repeat of this C. So it's not 7. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we get to there. I was thinking of pentatonic scale having 5. I'm trying to think why I thought 5, but that's a pentatonic scale. This is the minor blues. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're back to C. Now, the funny thing about it is just playing these notes will sound bluesy no matter what you do. I'm just kind of noodling up and down, and it sounds really cool because I'm using the blues scale. I can't think of any other scale that starts to feel nice and good that easily than the blues scale. So, let's take those notes here. C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B flat, and then we get to C. It's the same thing here. Okay, so now a good fingering for that. A lot of people have trouble with their fingering. You can go 1. Let's see. You can go 1, 2, and then come under with your 1, 1, 2, 3, and then use your pinky on there. That'll kind of get you started. Okay, but there's all kinds of fingerings you can use, but just to get started, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then you can come under again to get to the C. Alright, so that's our blues scale. And what we're going to do is slowly try to put it with this. Now I'm not just going to say, alright, start improvising with the blues scale. We're going to start somewhere. We're going to lead up to these other things. Now remember, job 1 in all of these blues lessons is left hand rock steady. If we lose that, we lose everything. So, and also don't be discouraged if you can't keep it going right at first. Just let that be your goal is all I'm saying. Let that be your priority, is to keep that left hand steady. Now, all we're going to do right now is we're going to go for 1 note a measure. Okay? And we're just going to play a different blues note on each measure. Now, I don't care which one you play because it doesn't matter as long as you play one of these. Alright, let me show you what you can do. We'll just go straight up. Here we go. Starting with a C and doing this with it. 1. Now E flat. Okay, so that's all I did is I played one note per measure. Okay, so that's where you want to start. One note, because we don't want this left hand to lose its steadiness. Okay, now don't go on until you can do that. Once you can do it pretty well, pretty consistently, then we're going to add two notes. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do groups of two notes like this. So you see I'm playing a note here and a note here. But the idea is we did one note, now we're going to do two notes. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now if that's too hard doing the blues scale, stick with just the C, E flat. 1, 2. To go up the scale and down, you can stay on a couple of notes. How many times have you heard this? You see, you can stay on just a couple of notes. That's the wonderful thing about the blues, is just a couple of notes will really sound good. It's not how much you do, it's how you do it, they say. So groups of two, okay? So you can go up the scale, you can go down the scale, you can stay on two consecutive notes. You can skip, you can go, let's see. See, I'm going out of one octave. We start in one octave, like this, to get used to it, but we want to get to where we can use the scale anywhere, okay? So try different octaves. The idea is groups of two notes, though, all right? Once you get that down, guess what? Groups of three. So groups of three would be in 1. Hard for me not to break out something else, but stick to that groups of three notes. 1, 2, 3. Then guess what? Groups of 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now groups of 4 could be this. It could be. Skip around, you can play two notes consecutively, you can stay on one note for 4 times. The sky's the limit. Do as many things as you can think of doing those 4 notes, okay? Groups of 4. So that's our lesson here. So, anyway, kind of a recap. You got to have that left hand steady. I keep saying that. But that is very important. You know, if we could, as teachers, say something one time and everyone remember it, then we could all go home. But that's not how it works. We reinforce. So steady left hand, get that down. Be able to play your chords with keeping the 12-bar blues chord progression in different rhythms, and then be able to play the scale in groups of 1, groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of 4. And then mix it up. Do a group of 2 with then a group of 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. You can also mix this and that. You can go. Show you lots of other tricks and with this, but let's begin with this, okay? and let's see how you do.